Order in the court, y'all. Order in. Y'all, it's so raggedy over here. Y'all. There we go. Breaking news. Sorry, guys. Breaking news. This is my real house. This is my real life. This is breaking news. All right, guys. Diddy has been arrested. We need to talk about it. We need to break this down. Diddy has been arrested. I literally just yesterday here on the channel, I talked about the fact that it was coming any day now. I've discussed how I actually have personally received calls from people who were subpoenaed by the grand jury. So I knew that the grand jury had been meeting. Diddy's attorney, right, is Mark Ruffalo. There's a few. He has a few attorneys. He has a huge team. So I knew that the grand jury was considering evidence, and they're taking their time. I know there were some bloggers who were like, it's going to happen in this month or this month. Or I knew that it was going to, I never knew an exact date because we can't know that. But I knew that after he was raided in March, it was going to take some time because we saw them boxes that they done toted about that man's house. We knew the boxes. We knew that, I knew that what happens with the grand jury is the grand jury meets in secret and they get to hear all the evidence. And what the feds attempt to do is to bring as many possible charges as possible. They always overcharge. So therefore, they're going to want to go through those boxes. They're going to see what's there. They're going to interview people, all of those things, which takes time, right? Even with Trump. Trump's house was raided in the summer, and it was like the following March or something like that when he was finally indicted. Yes, Glam Gal says, can't believe this is happening. Before we get into it, I just want to remind you guys, you can schedule a consultation with me. I'm a for real lawyer, Ivy League educated and Oak Cliff educated. This is my site. You can go to SimoneRedwine.com. Here you can buy my ebook, Background Checks 101, The Beginner's Guide to Discovering Who the Heck You're Actually Dealing With. And up here on the top right, you can click book or hire Simone Redwine. Consultations with me for only 30 minutes start at $149. And trust me, they are worth it. Ooh, let me do that share. There we go. Background Checks 101 is the book. You can go to SimoneRedwine.com. Also, you can, if you click here, you go down to book or hire Simone. A 30-minute consultation is only $149. You can start there. And I handle legal issues across the nation. I am stuttering over my words because I'm in so much shock. Now, if you've not watched me before, you may not be familiar. Just quickly, I am part of the legal team. I was one of the first attorneys to sue R. Kelly civilly. So I've been did this. Okay. I'm not new to this. I'm quite true to this. You see the background we have today is the jail cell. Okay. That's where Mr. Diddy is right now. Sitting up in there. Okay. He didn't just get to do a walkthrough like sometimes super rich people. He's there. He's going to have to wait till arraignment tomorrow in the morning. Okay. They got him in some type of protective custody where he can protect his bottom hole and he can protect whatever else he wants protected. But he is locked up, won't let him out, at least not till tomorrow. I'm sure he's also working on preparing his bail. But let me just tell you this quickly, my background, and this is where my viewpoints come from. I was one of the first attorneys to sue R. Kelly civilly. Okay. In that suit, it kind of launched from that suit. I saw how you have civil suits and then literally they lead into federal investigations. Subsequently, I filed that lawsuit, drafted and filed it along with my co-counsel Lee Merritt in New York State Court. Subsequently, as we all know, R. Kelly was tried in New York federal court for his crimes, etc. It always starts with civil. And part of the reason that I say that is because a lot of people were dogging Cassie, saying she took the money too quick, saying that, if she was really about justice, she would have made sure he went to jail. Baby, that's what she was doing. That's what she was doing. Sometimes you have to start in civil to get criminal justice. So here are the charges. I'm going to read you briefly. Here we go. I'm going to start up here. Let me show this. Here it is. Sure you see it. And there we go. Make it bigger. But basically, Diddy was arrested by federal agents in New York City tonight specifically. He was arrested Monday night in New York City by federal agents with Homeland Security investigations. Earlier this evening, federal agents arrested him based on a sealed indictment, I'll explain that, filed in the Southern District of New York. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, a brother, said in a statement, "We expect to move to unseal the indictment in the morning and we'll have more to say at that time." Baby, I'm not even going to get on my sleep. I'm going to have bags in my eyes tomorrow, waiting for this thing to become unsealed. What that simply means is tomorrow we will find out when it becomes unsealed what the specific charges are, how many of them there are, etc., etc. Combs's lawyer, Mr. Mark Anafilo, addressed the news in a statement calling it an unjust prosecution. Sir, you don't even know what he's charged with, so shut up. "We are disappointed," he says, "with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the Black community." Agnifilio said in a statement, "He is an imperfect person, but he is not a criminal." Lies. We saw the way he beat that girl. He dragged that girl through that hotel hallway. That is the behavior of a criminal. He is a criminal. Now, he continues. The attorney says, to his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. He voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. He says, "Please reserve your judgment until you have all the facts. These are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. Or perhaps these are the acts of a man who is so readily identifiable, there is no way on this planet that he could go and not be found. So no need in hiding when you can easily be found. So you don't get points for hiding in plain sight in New York City. When yes, you could have done like Russell Simmons and run over to Thailand or whatever. At this time, Russell Simmons, to my knowledge, is not facing criminal charges. You could have ran wherever you wanted to run. But it doesn't change the fact that when you went over there, people was going to tell it. So no, you don't get points. The article continues, Combs has been under investigation for the better part of a year since his former longtime girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, came forward with allegations in a civil lawsuit. At least 10 additional lawsuits have followed. Combs has denied the allegations in all of them. Back in March, Combs' LA and Miami homes were raided by the feds. Homeland Security investigation spokesperson said in a statement at the time that the raid was executed as part of an ongoing investigation. Law enforcement sources told ABC News also in late March that federal agents with Homeland Security investigations seized a number of electronic devices as part of the court-authorized searches of Combs' two properties. The searches were carried out in both LA and Miami. They were part of a federal sex trafficking investigation into the hip hop and liquor mogul. He's not a liquor mogul anymore. All of those companies have distanced themselves from him, and he has had to sell his shares. HSI, Homeland Security agents, flooded Combs' mansion and gathered evidence as part of an investigation led by prosecutors in the Southern District. So, in other words, Diddy is done. Diddy is done. I anticipate tomorrow it's going to be a slew of charges. I don't know why the number 22 is just hitting my spirit, but perhaps something along the lines of 22 charges. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 50 some charges, because for each individual incident, whether it's trafficking or otherwise, it's a separate charge. Now, keep in mind, Homeland Security is who completed the initial investigation. Homeland Security specializes in, their focus is trafficking. Trafficking includes moving someone for sex from one location to another in the feds' care when it's across state lines or across countries. Now, we also have to remember there have been a number of deaths that have been associated with this man. All of that will be investigated here. Someone said these lawyers are delusional, right? Electric Lady said the lawyers are delusional. Listen, all of this is coming together. Now, his lawyers have to say those things. But interestingly, just this morning, his lawyers were in court on his behalf in a hearing in Michigan. Now, this is a hearing where this cuckoo bird prisoner, I forget his last name. His last name is hyphenated Smith. Cuckoo Bird Smith filed charges in Michigan and received a $100 million default judgment against Diddy. I covered that yesterday and earlier today. The gist of that lawsuit, I won't go all the way all up into it, is the guy states that back in the 90s, Diddy played with his booty hole at a party at a Holiday Inn. Now, my first thought is Diddy wasn't partying at a Holiday Inn. Even if you did play with your booty, it didn't happen at a Holiday Inn. The lawyers for Diddy also argue that that Holiday Inn didn't actually exist the year that this gentleman claimed his booty hole was fondled. That the Holiday Inn did not come to exist at that location until 1 or 2 years later. They're also claiming that this gentleman who made these claims, he stated that Diddy came and visited him and offered him $2.3 million to settle. They pulled the visitation logs of this guy at prison. He had no such visitor. But the interesting part that's relevant to this today, this arrest, is Diddy had the same lawyer. This morning, that lawyer was on the hearing and it was on Zoom. I want to show you a piece. I want you to see how frazzled this lawyer was. And now I'm beginning to wonder if perhaps he was frazzled like that because he knew what was coming down. Now, this is from our homegirl, Pam the Law Intellect's channel. Here's a clip.
Your Honor, this is so critical that we'll take whatever time the court can give us. We'll try to get.
Well, my question was, do you need more than an hour?
If we can at least address the temporary restraining order unless.
Mr. Hughes?
We can do it in 1 hour.
Your Honor, I have an important doctor's appointment tomorrow.
This is opposing counsel.
Cannot do it.
What, do you have the morning available?
The appointment is at 11 a.m.
Okay. How about Wednesday at what about Wednesday?
So they're trying to.
Your Honor, the temporary restraining order cannot exist for more than 14 days.
Stop,
Your Honor, this restraining order is a violation of the court.
Mr. Fink, stop before I hold you in contempt.
I'm sorry.
I am trying to accommodate you as quickly as possible. I am not going to inconvenience the other 30 people that are on my docket this morning. So I am trying to accommodate you. So I can do 11 o'clock on Wednesday. I can do 1:30 on Wednesday.
Your Honor, let me.
I will bump other evidentiary hearings, but I cannot bump my motion docket. So Wednesday, 11 o'clock.
What time, Your Honor? What time? I'm sorry. What time?
11 or.
Y'all saw that? I just want to make sure you saw it. The judge was about to hold this man in contempt because he wouldn't shut up. Here, I'm going to play it back a little bit.
Do you have the morning available?
The appointment is at 11 a.m.
Okay. How about Wednesday at
Now, Wednesday means instead of the hearing being tomorrow, it's going to be this Wednesday, as in 2 days from today. Y'all, this is super relevant. Pay attention.
Okay. What about Wednesday?
Your Honor, the temporary restraining order cannot exist for more than 14 days. Your Honor, this restraining order is a violation of the court.
Mr. Fink, stop before I hold you in contempt.
I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, this lawyer was desperate for the following reason. This was this morning, today. He knew this man was about to get arrested. And this restraining order prevents Diddy. Okay, so that when the guy got the verdict, he got the $100 million default. Part of the court order created a restraining order against Diddy. That means Diddy cannot sell anything that he owns until this man is paid his default judgment. Now, I do believe this man is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I do believe it was a default judgment that was probably unlawfully obtained. But the reason this man was stuttering, we had stuttering Stanley there, and he was frantic, was because it seems he probably knew that Diddy was going to get arrested today and or tomorrow. And by this restraining order remaining in place, it means Diddy may not be able to make his bail. Because if Diddy needs to sell anything, or we all know if you've ever dealt with bail is either selling something or putting up collateral. You can't put up something as collateral if there is a temporary restraining order in place on your assets. Boom. That's why y'all come over here to Attorney Simone, your legal bestie. I'll break it down for you legally. Okay? We got the tea, we got the mess, and we get an understanding. This is infotainment. This is edutainment. Stuttering Stanley, y'all. Stuttering Stanley in the court. The lawyer is frantic because he don't want to have to go back and explain to Diddy, I don't know how to tell you this. We weren't awarded the temporary, the emergency hearing, what they wanted, which was that the temporary restraining order be removed, which is what he needs to be able to put up certain collateral to make the bail. So we'll have to say, if he doesn't immediately walk up out that courtroom tomorrow, it might be because he doesn't have any available collateral to make the bail, because it's all being held up in this stupid weirdo cuckoo birds $100 million default. So this man might have to sit here and get his booty hole played with for a few days till he can come up with the money. It's not guaranteed. Now, there's still the chance that someone who knows Diddy may just say, hey, Diddy, I know you're good for it. I'm going to put up the bail money for you. That's entirely possible, and say, I'm willing to do it without a collateral. But most bonding agencies, if you ever had a loved one deal with bail, you know what I'm talking about. Bail bonds people, it don't change because you're a millionaire. Hell, they want that $1 million house. Bail bonds people want collateral. And if you can't lawfully collateralize the bail, because all your stuff is locked up in this kangaroo court case. Shout out to Pam, the law intellect. Go on over there. You want to see the full thing? Oh, baby, he gone. Woo, Jesus. He is not Jesus's favorite sinner. I tell you that. Ooh. Jesus said he's sick of this shit. Sorry. Jesus says he's sick of your foolishness. Sick of it. We got 1,000 watching the chat. Thank you so much. Hit that like, y'all. We need you to hit that like, hit that notification, and subscribe. I'm gonna be on his butt. I'm going to continue to be on this trial. I'm gonna look at some of your commentary, but I want to remind you. Remember, let's see. Here we go. I'm gonna show you the clip. If you don't remember, here we go. Like back in December, I went viral, over 100 million views on this clip that I did where I was explaining how it is that Cassie was able to settle the case and receive, whether it was 30 or 50 million, we're not exactly sure, but receive her millions within 24 hours. I'm going to play that tab. I'm going to play this clip for you one more time, real quickly. Oh, okay, guys, no audio. Hold on. Sorry. All right, let me fix this. I'm sorry, guys. I see you don't have the audio. Uh-oh. Here we go. There was no audio. Okay, sorry, there was no audio. I'll play that for you another time. Let me see if I could do it. Hold on, let me try one more time. Here we go. Get that clip for you. But here's what's important to note. Because this is now, the gist of it is this, y'all. Unfortunately, for the victims, the civil victims, Don Richards, Lil Rod, all of the victims with the civil suits that are pending against Diddy ain't getting nothing for years. They're not getting nothing. Here's why. When a criminal case is filed, as this one is, and you get indicted, your criminal lawyers automatically go to the civil cases and ask the judge to stay the case, and it will be granted. Because because a criminal case, basically because of the reason of you have the right to plead the fifth in a civil case, right? I'm sorry, in a criminal case, you have the right to plead the fifth, and therefore a civil case can't force you to be deposed. It can't do a lot of things because you have the right to not be forced to testify against yourself. So now, unfortunately, anybody who hasn't already got their money ain't gonna get it no time soon. Specifically, what usually happens is the case will be stayed until Diddy's criminal case is resolved. I'm sorry to Little Rod. I'm sorry to Don. I'm sorry. So if Don had filed back when Cassie had filed, she probably'd have some coins at this point. I did a breakdown of Don's case. I talked about how her attorney, Lisa Blue, did a great job in listing her as an employee. So now there's all this employee insurance that could be available to satisfy the judgment against her. But the problem is, right now, all of that is frozen. Yes. Chi said, so it's like R. Kelly all over again. It is. It is. Oh, thank you, the nursing game. Take that. Thank you so much for the super chat. No, exactly. It's too late. See, that's why y'all come here. You get the tea, but you also get a legal breakdown. Someone said, I'm using emojis, but I am PO'd because he pissed away opportunities for so many talented people and families. He sure did. Dang, so that $100 million is pending. Not like the inmate is going anywhere anytime soon. That is true. So Heather's saying, so the lawyers get everything. Diddy's lawyers are only ones getting anything because Don's lawyers, Little Rod's, all those lawyers are working on contingency fee basis, which means they don't get paid until they recover for them. So they still got to fight. They still got to file motions. They still got to do all that, but they don't have a chance truly of getting paid until the criminal case is resolved. MD, thank you so much for getting a membership. Oh, yep. It says so many parents sold their kids for fame. Can I explain him not being able to sell if the property is in his kids' names? Good question. So, these kids are minors. People know fraud when they see it. People know an attempt to move assets when they see it. The kids didn't buy that property. You can give whatever you want to whoever, but when it appears to be a fraudulent transfer, that's when you're not able to move things around. Now, I do know if the property is in the kid's name. Now, I do know that his LA property is up for sale. He is attempting, let's see, Diddy's. Yeah, he wants, I believe it's 60 million for it. $62 million home. Yes. He wants 62 million for it. He has put, it is up for sale. He wants 70 million. Of course he does. Of course he does. He wants 70 million for that property. But because of the fact that he lives in it and those kids are minors, arguably, I'd argue if I were attorneys for those children, I would argue he's not allowed to do that. And that doing so would make him then be in contempt of court. Tacy says, I hope Kim Porter gets justice somehow through this. She sure could, because, there's no statute of limitations on taking away somebody's life. Somebody said, what about Mama Combs' house funds? Poor Mama Combs. Oh, Mama Combs and her wigs, that platinum wig. Oh my goodness. This is the other thing we're going to look into. I will not be surprised if Daphne Joy and or Young Miami get roped up into this. Because the petitions that we read that were talking about, their lifestyle and stuff, we're screaming wire fraud. Wire fraud, and I'm going to break this down. Wire fraud is one of the easiest claims to get looped into and taken down for. An example. So in what I think it was Little Rod's petition, he talked about Young Miami flying on the planes, this, that. Young Miami could be pitched as the Julian, what's his name? Epstein's homegirl, Jelaine, that girl that went to jail. We don't want that for her. I don't want that for her. But what I'm saying is, with respect to the claims that were made and how things were flowing with her relationship with him, if money was exchanging hands for drugs or to hire other women to service them, arguably it could be considered trafficking. But also, wire fraud is really simple. So there were articles that talked about how Young Miami referenced the fact Diddy gave her an allowance of $100,000 a month. He bought her a Rolls Royce. Money, 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 money. If she's not paying taxes on that, any gift you give that's worth over $12,000, if Young Miami is not paying taxes on that, one is tax evasion. They love to wrap that up. But two, that could be wire fraud, because you're getting the money for one thing and using it for another. Okay. If you're getting the money for certain things and you're using it for someone else, all of this is a mess. Do I believe Young Miami is going to turn on him? Absolutely. I hope she should, if she don't want to go to jail. Now, I know, her bestie went to jail for scamming. Her mama went to jail, I believe, for something else that was nonviolent, a form of scamming or something like that. Young Miami's mommy just got out of jail. So it's a good chance that she won't turn on him. Maybe she's going to do that, but she's got 2 kids. And I think Young Miami is a lot smarter than people give her credit for. I also don't, from what I have read, I do not believe she has actively partaken in any crimes. I don't believe that she has committed any crime, other than maybe like use of, the white girl substance, what we call it. Other than that kind of thing, I don't believe that she's been out here, keeping women around against their will. She had kicked somebody to the curb and then beat them up. It says, as she says, she thinks Young Miami will sing like a canary. Oh, yeah. Oh, Simone, am I hinting at RICO? Oh, yeah. RICO Suave, RICO Love. It's about to be some RICOs involved. All of the RICOs. RICO Suave. All of the RICOs. If she doesn't want to be stupid all her life, she needs to turn him in now. Yep, all of these things. She was carrying and getting his powder. Right. So, and those are one thing. I don't think she did anything violent, but you're right. See, here's the thing. When the feds want to use someone as a witness, to turn them into a witness, they prefer to use someone who's done low-level offenses. So, for example, a lot of the people who were brought before the grand jury were sex workers. They were freaky dickies. On the grand scheme of bad guys, a prostituta or prostituto, the men prostitutes, aren't that big of a deal. Like, if you're going to put them in front of a jury, it's a lot harder for a jury to believe someone who's facing 50 years. Ooh, excuse me, I spit everywhere. 50 years, who's now flipping and saying certain things, than someone who might have been facing a year. Right? Because they're going to be like, the person facing 50 years is going to say whatever they need to say to get out of this. But the person that's facing just a smaller amount for a lower level offense is going to be considered more believable. And a lot of this is going to turn on those kind of people's turning on him. So number one person I believe turn is his little drug mule, Brandon. We got to picture Brandon. Brandon looked like he stinks. Brendan. I think it's Brendan Paul was his name. Brendan Ball. Yes. He looks stinky. And he accepted a plea deal. Here we go. I'm going to share this tab. Get out of here. All right. Chagrin man. Oh, no. It says Chagrin Falls man named as an alleged drug mule for Diddy Combs accepted plea deal on charges. Look at him. He's been crying. His little eyes are red. He said, I don't want this life. This is not what my parents wanted from me. You know, Betty and Hunter wanted better for me. And I understand that, Brendan. Bless your heart. Brendan can't go to the slammer for him. Brendan's not going to do well in there. Brendan's singing like a canary. Okay. Somebody said, roll the beautiful IG post. Let me scroll on down. Someone said, I hope they reopen the nightclub case with him and J-Lo. Yeah, the statute of limitations is up for that one. But someone has asked, have the sons been arrested? No, at this point, they have not. I don't wish that on them. But boy, oh boy. So, Felicia says, start the recorder. I can't do no time, especially for nobody else. I know that's right. Combs is giving everyone up. Yeah, that's the other thing you have to think of. When you think of, am I going to rat on this person? You better believe Combs has in the past and will tell it on everybody that needs to be told on. That man ain't loyal. Who's he loyal to? He wasn't even loyal to Kim Porter. She was pregnant with twins and he got another woman pregnant, her friend. He has no conscience. He has no loyalty. And now it is time for Karma to do his thing or her thing. I think Karma's a woman. What about the other people's children? What about all these people who only told on him because they didn't get paid for their songs? Now, see, in my opinion, Little Rod was participating and only filed the lawsuit once Diddy didn't pay him. First of all, Elite Leo, I agree that I believe the Little Rod lawsuit would have never seen the light of day if Diddy had paid that man what he believed his time and his music was worth. I certainly believe that. Now, as far as that, it doesn't make what they saw any less real. It goes to their credibility, though. So a juror is going to be able to say, do I want to believe this guy or do I think he's just salty because he didn't get paid? Taking a dump says free Diddy. That's appropriate. That makes sense. What did India say? What? Oh, India said, ma'am, her mom went to jail for stealing, fleeing, oh no, and killing somebody. Very illegal, very violent, very not mindful. She's a killer. Grandma's a killer. Grandma is a killer. I'm going to have to look this up. I want to see all the records. I need to see what Grandma Miami was up to. We need to know this. Oh, yes. And M.S. Scott says, Miami will sing because the feds got intel on her too. Believe that. I certainly do believe that. India, that was the funniest thing I've read in a long time. Oh, somebody said Christian's dumb behind is going down with him. Yeah, Christian is pretty stupid. He is, and I'm going to say stupid because he was really well educated. Like he went to good schools. And to my knowledge, he doesn't have a learning difference. So I'm just going to say it was stupid. What? Glam Gal said Miami's mom shoplifted, then drove away in a car that crashed into another vehicle, causing an accidental passing. She was incarcerated for 5 years and is on 10-year probation. God, dog. Grandma didn't just kill a reindeer. She killed somebody. Oh my gosh, we finna find out some salacious stuff. Oh, it's gonna get really juicy. No, but Brendan is not built for the hard time. And here's the thing, because Brendan was the drug mule, Brendan saw it all. Brendan, they only gave him probation. I believe that was intentional because I believe that by giving him probation, that was just for the state offense. Now, what the feds do is the feds will say, look, the state gave you probation, but you were arrested at an airport with drugs. Airports are allowed to also press federal charges on you. At every airport is federal property. In other words, Brendan, if you don't cooperate, the state may have gone easy on you, but we don't have to. We could get you for trafficking. We could get you for this, that, and the third, unless, Brendan, you cooperate with us. Okay, little dirty boy, cooperate with us. Because you're not going to do well in the feds, in jail. So what we'll do for you, Brendan, I'm giving an example, is they're saying, look, you turn, you help us, you give us what we need to know. And Brendan is a perfect person to have to do that with, because when the feds have to present him to a jury and they say, they have to reveal the fact that they gave him a deal, or reveal the fact that he's assisting. What they can say is, oh, listen, he wasn't even facing any charges. We never charged him, because they didn't. They didn't charge him in exchange for this. And they can say, for the charges he did get, they were minor, guys. He only got probation. So my point is, there we go. Brendan is perfect because he's seen it all, but he is also going to be more believable to a jury because of the fact that he only received a probation sentence from the state. So it looks pretty minor. Somebody said Quincy needs to, Saber said, love you, Saber. Saber said Quincy needs to go back to his daddy's house. He sure does. And his daddy's about sick of him. It says, Saber says, all civil suit cases are stopped. The feds freeze all bank accounts. Yes, now that is true. As long as the feds believe that some of your bank accounts were used for any of the fraud, which here I am certain is the case, froze. Therefore, this is even more of the reason why Diddy's lawyer this morning was stuttering Stanley, panicking, because he needs the assets. If the bank accounts are frozen, what's the only way to get money? Sell your ish. Sell it. But he can't, because cuckoo crazy dodo bird in the Michigan penitentiary, Michigan penitentiary, done got an injunction against Diddy because he's got the $100 million default, because he said he served Diddy, and Diddy's team said he really didn't. He's got the $100 million default that came with a temporary restraining order, an injunction that is preventing Diddy from selling any assets. So at this point, unless Diddy has a hookup, if he were to want someone to go to a bail bonding entity to make bail so he could get the heck out of there tomorrow after arraignment, that bonding entity is going to say, give us some collateral. And he's going to say, well, I can't give any collateral. It's under a restraining order. So Diddy going to have to sit there. Now, there's also a chance that he won't be given bail. That frequently happens if there are S offenses that involve minors, especially, but also it could be grown women. It just depends on the charges. Oh, great question. C. Griffin said, I wonder if Stevie J is still sticking by Diddy. And y'all, they're probably not going to let me monetize this video. So feel free to hit the little tip jar, missredwine.com, if you'd like. Hit that tip jar. Can someone post the bail anonymously? Great question. They could. I don't know about anonymously, though. No, because they have to put up collateral. Well, no, let me clarify. If they're going to put up 100% of the bail with no collateral, they might be able to. I'm not sure. But if you're going to use a bonding company, you have to identify yourself to the bonding company, because the bonding company will want collateral. He said, too bad he didn't learn from R. Kelly. He sure didn't. Ooh, is Kalina sticking to her story? Here's the thing. I haven't had the time, but with Kalina, I'll reserve comment. Is he a flight risk? Good question. Let's see if they take his passport so that he can't do like Russell Simmons and run to the other side of the world. Brandy said, I wonder how his mama's feeling. I don't know, but I'm sure that platinum wig is, she done ripped that thing off and threw it on the floor. She probably so mad. I know I would be. Because what's she going to do now? Go greet people at Walmart? I mean, she's got no skills. She's been his mom and taken care of accordingly for, the last, 30 years? 20 years? 30 years? She's going to have to greet people at Walmart in that platinum wig. We all going to know her, too. We're going to say, what you doing over there, Miss Janice? Why are you up here, Miss Janice? Miss Janice? No, Miss Janice. Do I think that he called Jay-Z? He might have called him, but Jay-Z didn't pick up that phone. I know that. Yeah, that platinum wig is going to be on the floor. Upset. Southern District of New York must know where all the bond money comes from. That happened in Trump's case. Ooh, thank you for sharing, H2O. And I love your participation in the chat always. You always have such great comments. The odds of all this playing out like this in jail and he can't get out, I think he's going to have some sources. But I'm just saying, if he doesn't get out immediately, this could be a reason why. We'll see what happens. He's got a lot of rich people in high places that certainly could put up. But the thing is, you put up that collateral. If that man doesn't show up or if that man flees, whatever you've put up is gone, baby. Gone. Thank you, Electric Lady. It says Diddy's Michigan case got his dirty money caught up with the feds. Absolutely. You are right, Electric Lady. Oh gosh. All right, guys. So I'm gonna read a few more comments. I'm having a hard time empathizing with Mama Combs because she had to know her son was a monster. She probably condoned and overlooked his behavior just to keep the money, power, and fame rolling in. Well, there is also a story that was told by Diddy's former security guard that one day he got so upset with his mama that he slapped her. He slapped his mama, knocked that platinum wig just cockeyed. No, I don't know if it was cockeyed, but he truly did slap her, according to his former his former security guard. CVJ is homeless now. Well, that's good. Oops, somebody says CVJ is homeless. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure he's gonna fall into someone's cooter cat and live up in there for a while, not paying rent, etc., or child support, apparently. With Diddy having money, the feds knew how to set it up where he can't move. Ooh, Godric, free Diddy. Okay, where you gonna put him when he gets free? You want him to live in your neighborhood or what we got going on? Ooh, talking about good comments. Said just in time for an electric distraction. So what we've covered, guys, is this. Diddy has been arrested. He's been arraigned. He's been locked up in New York federal court. Now, his attorneys say he's a good guy. He's not fleeing. That, in fact, he relocated to New York recently and stayed in a hotel room in anticipation that this was going to happen. Now, I believe this is an attempt of for his lawyers to set up the fact that, oh, Your Honor, give him bail. He's not a flight risk, by saying, look, he has been nothing but cooperative. Now we'll have to see what the court decides. But what we're really going to want to stay tuned for in the morning is they are going to unseal the indictment. That means we're going to find out all the different charges, what he's accused of. We're going to go through it, y'all. We're going to get this tape. And you're going to get not just the facts, but a legal breakdown of what does it mean in the grand scheme of things. My thought is this. When the feds charge someone so high profile as this, it's going to be a lot of charges. It's going to be a lot of them. Yeah, Tony says, can't wait to see the charges tomorrow. As an attorney, I feel like it's kind of like a ghetto Christmas. It's like a ghetto Christmas. Because, I believe Cassie from the complaint. It was so well written. I believe everything from the complaint. But then when the video came out, I said, oh yeah, this man has done so much. And when you get away with something, some of the things that he has, including the way in which he was able to drag that girl like a dog, drag her like a rag doll through those halls, and then dispose of the tape, buy the tape, hide the tape. Not only do you create fear in people, but you create a sense of invincibility. So I certainly believe that a lot of these accusations are exactly what we have been told. There's certainly going to be some exaggeration and stuff, but we're going to see what it is tomorrow. Stay tuned. Hit that notification, y'all. We need them likes ain't liking now. I need y'all to hit that hit that like button. We're going to stay on top of this. But for the civil court, the victims in civil court, unfortunately, you won't be able to see your money anytime soon. However, as it relates to justice, I do believe Don is going to be a witness. Don went in front of that the grand jury. Don was there. Cassie was in front of the jury. Lil Rod was in front of the grand jury. All of these people. And just a reminder, no settlement agreement out there can prevent you from speaking up as it relates to crimes. You do not forfeit your money or anything else when you speak up and for a crime. You don't even have to wait for the police to contact you. You can cash your check and skip to the police station and say, knock, knock, I want to tell you the truth. That is perfectly fine. So what I'm happy about is that these people have access to both criminal justice and civil justice, and we'll have to see which are those charges that the feds decided to pick up. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Attorney Simone, your legal bestie. See you tomorrow.